Alright guys, welcome back to the vlog. Episode number will be up here. As you can see, we are at Lodge Card Club in Round Rock, Texas. This is Dookie Bets. Gonna go jump into some 1-2, maybe some 1-3, depending on how the games are. And hopefully run it up. Alright guys, wish us luck. Peace. We're here at the Lodge Card Club for our second day of Texas Poker. Super excited to be playing here. I grab $500 in red chips from the cage, and I walk across the room to find my 1-2 seat. We're in for $500. That's the max at 1-2. The room looks terrific. Let's hope the action is terrific. It doesn't take too long for us to get involved in our first orbit. We are in the big blind with Jack Queen offsuit, my favorite hand in poker. There's been a limp from under the gun. The low jack has raised to $6. We're happy to put in the call, especially in a time rake environment, and the limper is in there as well. So we're 3 ways to a flop, which comes out pretty good for us. It's Jack 5-4 with 2 clubs. We flop top pair. I start with a check, the limper checks, and the low jack bets out for $11. Nothing to do here but stick in the call, I don't think. While there are some draws we can get value from, because the board is so draw heavy, it is fairly likely that our hand will not be the best hand anymore at showdown. So I decide to exercise some pot control by just calling. The limper gets out of the way, so we're mano to the 6 of spades turn. I put in the check once again, and the low jack continues firing for $30. It's another large size relative to the size of the pot. I think raising is far overplaying our hand, so I decide to once again proceed with call. The river is the 8 of diamonds. The front door club draw misses, but it is a 4-liner to any 7, which would make a straight. I tap the table for the 3rd time in this hand, and the low jack bets for the 3rd time in this hand, this time for $75. We have top pair, but we're not really beating anything he would bet for value. Even if the low jack has gone super thin with a hand like king jack or ace jack, we're still behind. He bet on the flop 3 ways. He bet all 3 streets. He's used large sizings throughout the hand. I'm not 100% sure how he has a strong hand, but I'm pretty certain he does have one. So after a little bit of deliberation, I decide to just fold. The low jack is nice enough to flash us the 7 of diamonds. He said he had a pair on the flop, so perhaps he had jack 7 of diamonds. Not quite sure, but either way, we stayed disciplined. But even if our opponent didn't show us that he had a straight, I would still feel pretty confident laying this one down. Moving right along, we have black pocket 9s on the button. There's a few limps to us with the $5 straddle on. I make it $25 to go. We go 5 ways to the flop, which comes with an overcard to our 9s. A vlog watcher named Noah, who's a very nice guy, is going to lead out for $65, and the cutoff is going to call in front of him. We get out of the way. A little bit later on, we have ace-king offsuit in the cutoff. The $5 straddle is on again. We're going to 3-bet over an under the gun 1 open and a hijack call to $55. The hijack is going to double flat, and we're just going to take it down with a small c-bet on the flop. A little while later, we'll pick up pocket aces. NASA's Texas location is all the way over in Houston, but apparently they have shipped over 2 red rockets to us here in Round Rock. Unfortunately, we're going to raise it up to $10 from the +1, and everyone is just going to fold. A bit of an anti-climax there, just picking up $3, but I guess we'll take it. A little while later, we've got the $5 and the $10 straddle on. The low jack has raised up to $25. We find ace-king of diamonds in the hijack and bump it on up to $75. Now, it's just going to fold around, but with all the straddles out there, we're going to pick up nearly $50 of dead money. Going back to some more normal hand recaps, we're 7-handed for this one because some people are away from the table. We're in the low jack, it folds to us, and we peel pocket 6s. We're going to raise it up to $10. The small blind, who's a pretty active player, we've been getting involved with him quite a bit, sticks in the call. So we're going heads up with $22 in the middle, and the flop is great for us. It's king 9-6 rainbow. We flop bottom set. He checks it on over to us. This is a board we're going to get to range bet. For a small size, I choose $8 into 22, slightly more than a 3rd pot, and to my absolute delight, the small blind breaks out the check raise to $25. I debate going for the flop 3-bet here, as pocket 6s seems like a pretty good candidate, unblocking all the king X combos the small blind could have, but I do think I would prefer pocket 9s, as then we could cooler pocket 6s. In game, I decide on just a call, and we see the king of diamonds roll off on the turn. It brings in a backdoor flush draw. We are now losing to king 9, but if he check raised the flop with a hand like king jack or king queen, this is the perfect turn card for us. He's going to continue betting for a fairly large size here, $50 into 70. Again, I think it's fairly reasonable to consider raising this turn if our opponent were raising with a backdoor type hand like ace 10 or ace 8 of diamonds. Those hands make a lot of sense to check raise the flop and barrel the turn, and we would like those hands or a hand like 8-7 to continue and make either a straight or a flush on the river to put some more money in. So I decided to continue playing it slow when we put in the K-Boule smooth call, and the river is the ace of diamonds. Hopefully the small blind has just made his flush, but it looks like he's not the biggest fan of the river card because he taps the table and checks on over to us. There's $172 in the middle. We have about $500 effective. Pause the video right now, go down in the comments, and let me know what size you guys would choose when value betting this river. In game, I decide to slide forward 2 stacks of red with a green hat on top for $225, a slight overbet of the pot. The small blind snap folds, so it seems like he may have just been goofing around on the flop and turn. Either way, this is a pretty nice sized pot coming our way. It was a little bit swingy early on, but with this hand, hopefully we're finding some momentum to kick on and run up a stack. We're going to go a little bit card dead for the next hour or so until we find ourselves in the big blind facing a cutoff raise to $10. We find red pocket 9s. I think flatting here sometimes is reasonable, but I decide to take the path of max resistance here and 3-bet it up to $50. The cutoff is going to come along with a call, and after an ace 6-3 flop, we bet small, and he folds very quickly. A little while later, we find ace-queen offsuit on the button. The hijack is raised to 15, the cutoff has called, and we are going to squeeze it up here to $50. They're both going to stick in the call, so we're 3 ways in position with $150 in the middle, and the flop is ace-5-4, all diamonds. We have top pair, we have the queen of diamonds working for us, but when it checks on over to me, I think that this particular monotone board is going to favor our opponents, as we're really only going to have hands like king queen and king jack, possibly king 10 or queen jack of diamonds, whereas the other 2 players are just going to have far more flushes than we are. So I decide to exercise some pot control by checking it on back, and we see the 9 of hearts on the turn. The hijack seems to like the turn because he's going to lead for $50, about 1/3 the size of the pot. I'm definitely going to be continuing here on the turn. That is until the cutoff wakes up now and shoves for $550. We make a pretty quick LOL fold. Perhaps we can think about it a little bit more with the king of diamonds, but this is just so strong here. The hijack is pretty quickly going to fold as well, and the cutoff shows us 6-7 of diamonds. So good fold from us there, I guess, but he did make it fairly easy. He had the straight flush draw too, so we're drawing very, very slim here. This next hand is the biggest one of the trip so far. It starts with an under the gun +1 raise to $15. The cutoff is going to put in the micro 3-bet up to $35, and it's back on us in the big blind where we peel pocket jacks. Everyone's favorite hand to play, and we're in a bit of a conundrum here. We start about $500 effective. I think there can definitely be a case for folding jacks here, and against certain player types, I would definitely bin these cards. But the under the gun +1 player is the same guy that we played our last hand of our previous vlog with. I'll link it in the cards if you haven't seen it. He put over $300 in pre-flop with Jack 10 offsuit, so I think this guy's a little bit wild. Additionally, the cutoff 3-better is the same player that we've been getting involved with quite a lot. He's very active, and I don't think this micro 3-bet is very strong, so I decided to put in the cold 4-bet up to $90. The +1 pretty quickly folds, and the cutoff pretty quickly puts in the call. We're going to have to play pocket jacks, heads up, out of position in a 4-bet pot, hoping to see no ace, no king, or queen, and we get a pretty safe flop of 5-4-4 with 2 hearts. Typically in 4-bet pots, we're going to be betting a small size with our range. I choose a C-bet size of $50, around 1/4 the size of the pot, and the cutoff doesn't think for too long before reaching into his stack and raising up to $150 to go. This spot just went from weird to weirder. We have a little over $400 behind. I don't really want to just call out of position for a couple of reasons. The first being if he has a hand like pocket 10s or pocket 9s, there are quite a few overcards that could come and kill our action. The second is if he's raising the flop with a heart draw and we just call the flop and check the turn, we could give him the chance to check back and realize his equity for free. I think it's pretty unlikely that the cutoff has a higher overpair than us, and I also don't know if he's going to be raising a full house or quads on this board. So I decided our best course of action is to try to put the money in now. While I feel we have the best hand, I announce that I'm all in, and the cutoff snap calls us. So we're heads up with over $1,000 in the middle. We're running it one time. The turn is the 7 of diamonds, and the river is the 9 of hearts. We table our pocket jacks, and the cutoff shows us that he has 10-8 of hearts. So we peeled our 4-bet in position with the suited 1-gapper, and got it all in on the flop with a flush draw. Our opponent gets there on the river to suck out in an over $1,000 pot. We've been playing this session for about 4 hours. Shortly after this, I decide it's just not our day. I decide to rack up, tap the table, and get out of here. All right, guys, another session where I think I played okay. Played way better tonight than last night, I think. Yeah, I just got to hold, I guess. You know, I want them to be putting it in those kind of spots where we're like 75% of the turn in a $1,000 pot. But it doesn't matter what your equity is because it's 0% for the river, I guess. In for 800, out for 550, something like that. I'll put the real numbers in front of Dookie's face to cover up this mug. But yeah, just got to learn how to hold. If somebody could teach me how to just hold when you have the best hand, that'd be awesome. But yeah, felt comfortable. Lodge is a really nice room, really cool place to go play cards. Definitely check it out if you are down here. But yeah, hopefully Dookie had a little bit of a better session than I did. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications if you'd like to. Follow me on Instagram, all that good stuff.
If you want to see somebody win money at the lodge, click this thing right here and go check that out. That'll be on my channel.
If you think I'm linking your channel, if you said that, you're out of your mind. Wow. All right, go leave hate comments on his page.
Or do that.
What a needler. If you'd like that video, you might also like this other one that YouTube recommends for you. And if you want to stay up to date on all my latest videos, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.